Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Centipede Geek. Today I have another movie news vlog for you guys where I talk about all the latest in movie news. Usually in my movie news vlogs, they're usually pretty lengthy videos. They can range from 20 to 30 minutes and normally I split them into two parts. But this news is actually pretty important to me at least. So I wanted to give this movie news its own personal video. So in this particular video, I will only be talking about one news article in particular, and that is apparently there's going to be a Captain Underpants film in the next few years. According to the release date on IMDb, it actually won't come out until March 17th of the year of 2017, but I guess we'll see how that goes, depending on anything, if anything changes. But anyways, Captain Underpants. If you don't know what Captain Underpants is, it's a book series, and I'm not for sure if it's still running. It might still be running. But anyways, I read the book series when I was several years younger, when I was around the ages of 12 or 13. So when I saw this news article, when I was told about this news of a Captain Underpants movie, it brought back a sense of nostalgia, and I actually got quite excited for it because I was a huge, and I mean a real big fan of the original Captain Underpants book series by the author by the name of Dev Pickley, I believe was the author's name. And I was just going to show you guys a few of the actual Captain Underpants books because I still have a few of them. Here we have the fourth book in the series, and later on in this video I'll actually tell you guys about the news, but I just wanted to show you guys, some, I guess you could say, some souvenirs or whatever. But this is the fourth book in the series. Yes, I've read it. The Professor Poopy Pants, he actually doesn't get introduced to the fourth book, but he is going to be the villain in the movie. So I thought that was interesting, that even though his character isn't until the fourth book, he's going to be the villain. And that's the fourth book there. Then we have some, what they call the extra book of crunchies. They have the Book of Fun 1 and the Book of Fun 2. They're not actual books. They're just like activities, stuff like that, for mainly oriented, for kids and stuff like that. They're mainly kid books, very, very kiddish and kind of comical in that sort of fashion. The famous Flip-O-Rama and all that kind of stuff. They have the Adventures of Super Diaper Baby. This was kind of like almost a spin-off to one of the later sequels of the Captain Underpants books. Anyways, there's that. And then the most recent ones that I have read were Captain Underpants and the Big Bad Battle of the Bionic Booger Boys, Part 1 of the Knights of the Nasty Nostril Nuggets, very long title. And then there was Part 2, called The Revenge of the Ridiculous Robo Boogers. And these are the last two ones that I've read, which was the 6th and the 7th, and I recently saw a picture of the 10th part, so I guess they might still be running, though I'm not too for sure. Anyways, the most recent one I read was the 7th, though it was several years ago. So let's talk about more about this movie, who's directing it, who's going to star in it. Let's talk about that. Well, a guy by the name of Rob Letterman is going to direct the Captain Underpants movie. And he did films such as Shark Tale and Monsters vs. Aliens. Captain Underpants will be a CGI animated film. That was probably pretty obvious. The script will be done by a guy by the name of Nicholas Stoller. You might know him. You might know some of his movies. He wrote the script for films such as Yes Man and The Muppets, and he's also going to do the Muppets sequel coming out this year by the name of Muppets Most Wanted. So imagine that. A Muppet, Nicholas Stoller, Muppet script, and then Rob Letterman, who did Monsters vs. Aliens and also Shark Tale several years ago. Some of our cast, now the cast is mainly comedians. We have a lot of stand-up comedians in this cast, so that's pretty much what the main cast is. Obviously, this is a very kid-oriented movie. It's going to probably run mainly on jokes, probably very crude jokes, so I can see why they pick some of these actors. We have Kevin Hart playing the role of George Beard. We have Ed Helms playing the role of Mr. Krupp or Captain Underpants. We have Nick Kroll playing the role of Professor Poopy Pants. We have Thomas Middleditch playing the role of Harold Hutchins. And then we have Jordan Peele playing the role of Melvin. Now, our three main characters, obviously, are George Beard, Captain Underpants or Mr. Krupp, and Harold Hutchins. Kevin Hart playing the role of George Beard. And if you don't know who the character is, it's this guy right here. So we have Kevin Hart, who is, a fairly young guy, and he's going to be playing the role of a 12-year-old, a very young kid, in the 4th grade. So, younger than the age of 12, actually, when you think about it. Very younger. So how do I feel about a grown man playing a 4th grader? It doesn't really bother me too much, actually. I mean, it's an okay pick. I honestly probably would have rather had somebody else than Kevin Hart. I certainly don't think Kevin Hart is a terrible pick, but if it was me, I probably would have casted somebody else, just for the reason being that I would rather know the person. I probably would have rather had a no name, honestly. But Kevin Hart's certainly not a bad pick. I could see why they picked him, because he is a stand-up comedian, very comical, funny movie that is probably most likely going to be. So I can see why they picked him. Everybody else, Ed Helms, Nick Kroll, Thomas Middleditch, and Jordan Peele, I'm not familiar with those actors, so therefore I can't really state much of an opinion on them. I really just wanted to tell you guys about this because as I said earlier, when I was told about this news, it brought back a big sense of nostalgia, and I'm quite looking forward to the film. Now, I know it doesn't come out till, I believe the date I said earlier was March 17th of the year of 2017, so it's quite a ways, a few years away. But I mainly wanted to make a video about it to, sound off in the comment board below. Were you a fan of the original Captain Underpants books? Are you still reading them, even though you might be in your early 20s? Kind of like I am. So, I mean, how do you guys feel about them? Are you not familiar with the Captain Underpants books? And maybe still curious to see the movie? Apparently, here's what the plot line says on IMDb.com. I'll make sure to put both of these links. I have two links, one for IMDb and another one for a website called Collider.com. And the plots, I'll put both links in the description. The plot synopsis says, 2 grade school kids hypnotize their mean principal into assuming a secret identity of an underwear-clad superhero who helps their fellow classmates. When I was thinking about this Captain Underpants movie, I was thinking that this movie can either be for me at least, a big success where it's going to do pretty decently, because of the comedy and the stand-up comedians, and there's some good director and a good writer behind it. So it's either going to do really well and, go by the book and turn out really cool, or it's going to be a pretty critical failure and turn out terrible. I'm hoping for the earlier, the first point that I made, because this could be a really cool movie, or it could be a disaster. Either way, I'm going to watch it when it comes to 2017. Anyways, just wanted to give you guys that quick little news. Once again, that's the Captain Underpants movie based off the Dev Pickley books that comes out March 17th of 2017. And if any of that release date changes, I'll make sure to make a video about it. Once again, thanks for watching another video by Centipede Geek. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to my page below. I'll see you guys later for more videos by Centipede Geek.